Hello, how to solve t raised to the power of t raised to the power of 2 equals 16. We are solving for all values of t that satisfies this equation. So what we are going to do will be, we are going to raise each part of this equation to the power of 2 because we have 2 here already. We have t raised to the power of t raised to the power of 2. And this is raised to the power of 2. And this equals 16 raised to the power of 2 because we have this power 2 here. We need to also raise this to the power of 2. So the next thing we are going to do will be to consider this to the power 2 as a unit. Then we make use of this identity. If you have a power n raised to the power of n equals a power n times m. And that means this is also a power m raised to the power of n. So the n here is now outside this bracket or the parentheses. The m here is now inside the present parentheses. So that is exactly what we are going to do. This t power 2 here represents our n. This represents our m. So we are going to use this to transform it, meaning that you will have t, which is the base here. This base is constant, raised to the power of 2. The m is now inside the parentheses. We have 2. Then the n is now outside. We have t power 2. This equals 16 to the power of 2. So from here, we are successfully raised this base here to the same exponent, meaning that the base and the exponent are the same. So we need to do the same thing here. At this point, the base is 16. It's quite different from the exponent, which is 2. If we can make sure that the base and the exponent are the same, then we will have a way out of solving this equation. So I have t power 2 raised to the power of t power 2 equals 16. Is it a square? 16 is 4 times 4, and that is 4 power 2. So that means I'm going to have 4 raised to the power of 2, which is 16, and this is raised to the power of 2, which is a 2 that we have here. So recall a power n raised to the power of n equals a power n times m. I'm going to multiply this exponent. So I'm simply going to have t to the power of 2 raised to the power of t to the power of 2, and this equals 4 power 4. So if you have a power a raised to equals b to the power of b, that means a equals b. So we can equate these powers, the same thing here. So t power 2 equals 4. I can easily have t power 2 equals 4. So in order to solve for t, I can decide to take the square root of the part of this equation. I can have square root of t power 2 equals square root of 4. Then this can cancel this. I have t equals square root of 4 plus or minus 2. So we have two values for t. We have t1 equals 2 and t2 equals negative 2. These are the two values for t. So what we are going to do next will be to check if those two values will satisfy this equation. We have t1 equals 2, t2 equals negative 2. And the equation is t power 2 equals 16. Let's start with when t is 2. So when t is 2, we are going to have 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 2. And is this 16? So whenever you have something like this, maybe a power b power c, you start from the exponent. You need to find the value of b power c. So we need to find the value of 2 power 2. And 2 power 2 is 2 times 2, which is 4. So we have 2 raised to the power of this is 4. 4 is this 16? So at this point, we need to find the value of 2 power 4. That is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2. That is 16, and this equals 16. So left hand side equals right hand side. That shows that that particular value is correct. So let's consider negative 2. We have t power 2 equals 16, and t is negative 2. So we are going to have negative 2 to the power of negative 2 to the power of 2 is this 16. Now we are going to start with negative 2 to the power of 2. What is the value of this? If you have negative 2 to the power of 2, simply means negative 2 times negative 2. And this is positive 4. So this is an even number. We are going to have positive 4. So this gives us positive 4. That means we have negative 2 to the power of 4, because this is 4. Will this still give us 16? We need to find the value of negative 2 power 4. This is negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 equals 16. Negative times negative, positive times negative, negative times negative, positive. 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8, 8 times 2, 16. So negative to the power of an even number will give you positive. Because this is an even number, that's why you are having positive there. This equals 16. So 16 on both sides. This shows that the two solutions here are obviously correct. T equals 2, correct. T equals negative 2 is correct as well. So a quick recap on how we actually solve this. Whenever you have a cascaded exponential problem, such as this, the first step is to multiply this exponent by the last exponent you have. My last exponent is 2, so raise each part of this equation to the power of 2. I do the same thing here. Then the secret to solving this is to consider this term here, t power 2, as a unit. And I represented it using n. Then this other one here, I represented it using n. So I then come over to this identity. If you have a power n power m, this equals a power n times m, which means a power n or power n. So I needed to switch the powers, having it in mind that this acts like a single unit. So when it goes outside the bracket, the whole unit will come outside while the 2 comes inside. So that gave us this particular exponential problem. So at this point, we needed also to make these to be the same. Look at it here. We have t power 2 here, we have t power 2 here. So we needed this base and the exponent to be the same. So we needed to transform 16 to its perfect form, which is 4 power 2. So at this particular point, I was able to replace 16 with 4 power 2. Then I applied this index law that states that if you have a power n, all to the power of n equals a power n times m, I multiply this exponent. So I have this 4 power 4 equals this. So there's an identity that if you have a power a equals b power b, that means a equals b. So that was the identity we had. And at this point, we took the square root of part of this equation. And whenever you take square root, you need to have two solutions, positive and negative. So we ended up inserting this solution back into the original equation. and they both satisfy the equation. So the key here is that whenever you have an cascaded exponential problem, you start with the top exponent. So we started with this top exponent, which is 2 power 2. By inserting 2, we had 4. Then we have 2 power 4, which is 16. And that satisfied the equation. We did the same thing here again. We also started with the top exponent, which is negative 2 power 2. And the key point here is that whenever you have a negative number raised to the power of an even number, you have positive. So that was what we did all through this video. That is it. Thank you and goodbye.